Okay. I know that you're listening with, oh, oh, thank you, Zoom. Thanks very much, Zoom. I know you're listening with your ears, but also maybe like taking notes or something. Here's what I'll say, and this is not, please don't, this is not me going, oh, this is what I'm good at and listen to me. But here's what I'm gonna say. This is something that is a conversation that we have a lot. I have it with my own team. I have it with other teams, whatever. And I'm going to say this is kind of like a secret sauce place. Okay. And if you're able to translate this into something that you can use as a tool, if anything that we talk about tonight, you could use as a tool, I'm telling you, it will make you money. It will give you sustainable business. Okay. It will keep your leaders on. It will generate what you're looking for. So maybe listening with your heart and your ears, both, okay? And your notes, I don't know. Okay, so let's see. I'm Kelly Brown. Nice to meet you if we haven't met yet. I'm an Ambassador Diamond with the company, Triple Diamond 2.0. My husband is Presidential Diamond as well. And I started this business 6.5 years ago, and I was looking for $55 a month. Okay, $55 a month to pay for ballet classes for my daughter Nova. And I didn't know anything about this industry. I didn't know that it was possible to actually make an income from home. I didn't know anything about anything. To be honest with you, I didn't know that this was even me becoming a business owner. Like, you're going to own a business? No, I didn't come here for a business. I came here for $55 a month for ballet classes. Is what I told my husband. I was like, wait, I didn't sign up for a business. Yeah, you did. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, one step at a time. It's fine, right? Okay. So, and here we are, and there's a few people unmuted, Kelsey and Desiree, but so here we are 6.5 years later, and this business has completely changed our lives. I mean, my husband is home full time. I'm home full time. We now have 3 tiny sisters, and we're able to put them in private school last year, and we're able to give more than we used to make in a year. I mean, and this is not like being whatever, but like our tithe alone is more than what we used to make. And what we used to make, we hoped for. You know what I'm saying? It's just way 10 times more than we ever imagined and ever even thought to ask the Lord for. And I just couldn't be more thankful. No, you're totally fine. You don't have to be sorry. I couldn't be more thankful that I said yes, kicking and screaming, and landed here. Okay, so I mean, kicking and screaming, y'all. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't do things like that. Those things don't work out for people, and surely not somebody like me. Okay, so okay, stop me or interrupt me or whatever. And I just took notes of the things that you're saying you wanted to talk about, and I have some good stuff, and then we'll just go from there. And any questions, you'll type it in the chat, and hopefully I can answer those too. I just want to be helpful. Whatever is going to help, that's what I want to tell you. And there's no question off limits. Okay. So just ask it. Okay. No dumb questions. So yeah, you got to be loud. Okay. And sometimes people will say, well, I'm being loud in my chats and I'm telling them what I'm doing. And I'm okay. Top leaders. Some of y'all reds on here are going to be top enrollers. Okay. I'm a top enroller. Every time Morgan puts up the list or so-and-so puts up a list of who's the top enrollers, my name is always on there. And I'm leading from the front and I'm telling my team what I'm doing and I'm enrolling, and they're not doing jack. They aren't copying me. They're not motivated by whatever. Come on, some of y'all, I know that's a thing. Okay. That happens on all teams. Okay. So if that happens to you, here's what I'm going to give you some pink hearts, but I do kind of want you to hear me though. Okay. I'm telling you, this is what will work. So you got to be loud. Okay. So think big, think small all the time in every part of this process. Think big, think small. You're going in your group chats, you're telling them what you're doing. You're sending them your posts. You're maybe going live, or if you have a different team page, or you're sending videos, telling them what you're doing. I'm crushing it. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what worked for me. That's big. Even if it's just in message groups, that's in big group setting. However many people you got in your chat, 10 people, good, that's a big setting. You got 5 people in your chat, good, that's a big setting. You got 3 people in your chat, still a big setting. Why? Because everybody wants to be connected to one-on-one. Well, that's impossible. I got 5 million people on my team. So do I. But do you want them to do what you're doing? If the answer is yes, think big, think small. Okay. Big, I'm talking in my groups. I'm telling them what I'm doing. Think small. Now go to the individual. So like Morgan said, this is the girl, Jennifer. She's the older, is she going to see this? I don't know. She's an older lady, I think. Okay. Okay. And she's, just starting her business. And if I tell her to do something, okay, first of all, she was dead silent. And I go get my fast start and cab on her. And I'm like, well, okay, she's not responding. I guess she ain't gonna do nothing. All of a sudden she's like, okay, I think I want to try. Okay, awesome. Okay, Jen, we're gonna get, I'm like throwing this out there. We need to get 5 LCs. She's like, okay. And then I was like, and you're gonna get a shopping spree. Because I gave you one that's personally enrolled. I got my cab. I'm working on this little fast start. I'm like, you need 5. Okay, when do I have to have it by? By tomorrow. She's like, and I'm going to get a shopping spree. I said, yeah. She's like, okay, done. I'm doing this. Then they announced the $100 cash. Jen, go get 5 LCs. You're going to get $100. Are you serious? Yeah. Done. I'm doing it right now. I'm like, okay, do you want me to give you a post? No, I got this. Like, oh, okay. She just starts messaging people, whatever. Okay. Can I just say though, she would have done absolutely nothing had I not messaged her and said, Jen, go get 5. Jen. So we've been talking about, Paige, you're unmuted, sister, this last week, or, since they've announced all these $100 cash doodads. Okay. And we're telling everybody, going live on my team page, saying it in my message groups. She's in the message group. I'm like, hey, Jen, in private message, Jen, you could get, I'm like, did you try and get the $100 cash? Oh, what do you mean? Jen, did you know it's Friday? You can get $100 cash today if you go get 5 LCs. Are you serious? Okay, done. Goes and finds 5 people. Where are they coming from? I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not going to question it. Right. But she wouldn't have done it had I not said to her. So think big, think small. You got to get one-on-one with people. Okay. Now, are you going to get one-on-one with every single person? I don't know. Do you want to promote? So I go through and I go, I've got my list of people I'm promoting with. I got my list of people I need fast starts and cabs on. Those people, I'm going to try one-on-one. Now, somebody that's been sitting around fiddle farting, hearing all the Zooms and hearing all the things that we do and all the things that work, and they're not doing it, I might not hit all those people. Go fiddle fart around somewhere else and not with my time, right? Like our time is valuable, right? Okay, but I am going to get one-on-one with the people that I'm like, hey, I can teach you to do something. Hey, did you know? Does that make sense? Okay. So you have to connect one-on-one if you want them to duplicate what you are doing. You're telling everybody, but you're not telling them again one-on-one. It's got to be both. Okay. Or else they think you're talking to everybody else and they don't pay attention for whatever reason. I'm like, yeah, did you see all the things I sent in the chat? This lady just now, right now before this Zoom goes, where can I go to find posts for today? I'm like, scroll up. Like, did you see the 6 posts I sent this morning at 6:30 a.m.? Scroll up, you know what I mean? Okay, so it's fine. Okay, and then remember that small goals, small wins equal big wins. Okay, so if you've got some people that like maybe you've tried reaching out to, you've sent them posts, you're telling them what to do, they're not doing anything, whatever. Okay, and then they kind of got quiet. Now what else am I going to say? I already told them what to do and they didn't do it. I already sent them a post, they didn't post it. Go back to them with this $100 cash. And that's basically what I'm doing to reach out to people right now. There's some of these new guys, they tried putting up 2 posts and now they want to quit because I did this business and it didn't work for me. I'm like, bruh, you didn't do jack, but okay. You know what I mean? So I'm going to reach back out to them and go, hey, you can get $100 this week. Don't talk to them about going Ruby. Don't talk to them about their shopping spree right now. I wouldn't even mess with the shopping spree or go Ruby or go executive or get bonuses and get this and get that. Girl, they're not there. They're back on the bottom level. They're not there yet. They don't care about going Ruby yet because the reason why is that they don't know it's possible for them. People want to know about what they actually think they can attain, what they can do. Okay, they can get $100 cash this week. Well, I have got nothing. Okay, well, the only way to get that job done is to sign one loyal customer. Can you sign one? Let's think of one together. And I'm going to baby step it with them. If you want them to produce for you, I think about like in this process, maybe you didn't need baby stepped. Maybe you didn't need, Morgan or whoever your enroller is to go, hey, did you put up a post today? Hey, did you try getting an LLC? Maybe you didn't need that because you're a baller. Okay, which is awesome. And there's going to be some people that are that way. There's also going to be people that go, I still don't know what to do. I'm totally lost. And you went live and you sent videos and you sent trainings and you've recorded all these beautiful Zooms and we've got 10 steps to getting started in the guides, yet no one uses them. Yeah, me too. Me too. I have all the things if somebody wanted to be successful that I did not have when I started my business, because those things just didn't exist, right? Me too. But if I want them to do something, I've got to go, hey, can we just focus on, let's get one. Let's think of one. Do you have a spouse? Can they be a loyal customer? Send it to a different address. Okay, let's think of number 2. What about your mama? What about your daddy? What about your greasy granny? What about your best friend, your coworker, your neighbor, your who? Best friend from 2nd grade? Good. Does she like coffee and want to get skinny? Good. Let's talk to her. Let's don't worry about anything else other than I'm going to help you think it through. Because if you just go, good, go think of 10 people and come back and let me know when you're done. If you would have told me that, I would have said no. Stubborn mule. I would have said, no, ma'am, I'm not making a list. No, ma'am, I'm not messaging people. No, ma'am, I'm not doing da. And then eventually the stubborn mule would have came around to it if you would have told me, yeah, you could get $100. Yeah, but if you think of 1, you only need 4. You know what I'm saying? Don't just do it for them. Well, I sent them a post. I reached out to them. I told them what to do and they didn't respond. So I'm just going to go get my fast start in cab and move on. You're not going to raise up people that way. You're just not. Very good that you are a mass enroller, and you need to be. You have to do and teach. Do both. You do have to enroll. You do have to have mass enrollment moments. But if you're the only mass enroller, then when you're 50 years old and you want this to be mailbox money, you're going to still have to be the mass enroller if people aren't duplicating underneath you and running their own businesses. Does that make sense? And the way that you get them to do what you're doing is to build relationship with them and to talk to them one-on-one. Well, how am I ever going to get my job done and talk to everybody one-on-one? It only takes a few minutes to send a message. I don't spend all day long talking about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Now, every now and then, like today, Tessie and I talked about a family member who potentially was going to undergo a very major open heart surgery. Of course, I stopped and paid attention to what she had to say. I prayed for her nanny. I asked her then, what were the results of the outcome? I care about my people. You care about your people, yes. But you don't have to spend all day. You have to spend all day, but you can't do nothing either. Or there's no relationship being built and then they don't care. You ever hear the saying? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Your people know that you care about them individually as a person. Do they know that if they were sick, you would check on them? Do they know that if somebody died, you would send them flowers? Do they know that if they were hurting in any way emotionally in their marriage or in their relationship, that you would care to know about it and want to talk them through it? That you're invested in their life and in their family, not just in their LCs and DTs that they enroll or don't enroll for your business. Because when they know that that relationship is there, now they want to hear you. Now they want to show up to your Zooms. My team, like Rachel tonight is a presidential. She couldn't get on our opportunity Zoom that we did right before this Zoom that she does with me on Monday nights, me and her and Tessie. She couldn't be on because she's at a ball game and she has to run the books for her son's ball game. She felt terrible because she's my friend and it's her responsibility and she doesn't want to leave me hanging. She'll get on my new distributor trainings every Wednesday night because she's my friend. She doesn't want to leave me hanging. So relationship, do you understand, is important because we work together as a family unit. We train together. I'm going to help teach your people to be successful. Can you show up and help support what I'm doing to teach your people? Don't just like, oh yeah, Morgan's got this. Morgan's teaching my people how to post and training my people how to do XYZ. And she's running this Zoom and she's got this because she gets paid the big bucks and she's got, girl, you ain't going to get the big bucks if you ain't showing up with your leader pants on. When I started out in my business, I decided after, a month or so, hey, maybe I want to be a leader and get a $10,000 bonus. I started doing the things a leader does before I made the leader paycheck. I wasn't making no diamond paycheck. It was $150 at Ruby and it was $300 at Emerald, not hitting the average income, getting real discouraged. But every week that Sherry Lynn did a party, And they were those parties where the slides go up, every couple of minutes. We still do those. They still work. Okay. We haven't done them in a while, but we do still do them. And my job I took on because I wanted to be a leader. Okay. I was like, I want to do the things a leader does because I know that I want to become a leader. And if I do the things a leader does now, then I'm already on my way. Does that make sense? So my job was to post the little refresh posts in between that say, don't forget to refresh your screen. And y'all, I wouldn't miss a party. I was there early with my bells on, ready to do my job because it positioned me in my mind and in front of my team as one of the leaders, even though I wasn't one yet. What things are you doing right now to position yourself as a leader? Are you a diamond and above leader? Good job, sissy. But at every rank and in every season, there is a growth point that you have to cross if you want to go to the next level. What are you doing to grow? It feels hard. There are times where this is lonely. It's lonely as a leader. What are you doing to grow? Why? Because you're going to have teammates that are going to come to you and say, I'm lonely. Nobody's working with me. Nobody is listening. Nobody's responding. Nobody's doing X, Y, Z. And what will be your answer to them? Hopefully it's not go to Morgan. Hopefully it's not ask Morgan what she did. You're the leader. And as you step into leadership shoes, okay, it's like you're going up a half size, okay, every season, every 6 months, it's a new half size. Are you a 6? Good. Now you're going into 6.5. And what does 6.5 look like for you? Good. And then we're going into 7 and then 7.5. And what are you doing at each growth point? You know what I just started doing? Counseling. I went to counseling last Thursday or Tuesday. I'm going to go on Thursday. I'm going to go the next Thursday. Because I have questions that I don't have answers for. Okay, I'm reading this book. It's awesome. I need answers for why I have certain behaviors and certain mindsets that I can't jump over and I get stuck at them. Why can't I get past this? Why can't I get past that? I don't like this about my personality. Why can't I change it? What's wrong with me that I'm listening to? What are you analyzing and are you advocating for what you need? Because can I just tell you all of the things that I'm saying, they translate into LCs and DTs, the volume that you need. I used to be the first to say self-development isn't going to get me LCs and DTs. Big dummy. Reading a book's not going to sign me LCs and DTs. I need to do more host to post. Big idiot. Yeah, but you're not thinking big picture. You can't enroll 100,000 GV all by yourself. You've got to be able to lead people. You can't enroll 250,000 GV all by yourself to go Ambassador Diamond. Sissy, you're on your way to Ambassador Diamond, no matter what rank you're at right now. If you're maintaining Ruby, you're on your way to Ambassador Diamond. So what are you doing mentally and emotionally that makes you a sustainable Emerald leader, a sustainable Diamond leader, double Diamond leader, triple Diamond leader, presidential and ambassador leader? And at I'm growing right now and I can't avoid it. And I don't always like it and it don't always feel good. And yes, I get discouraged, but I am a much better fighter now than I used to be. And it translates into business. Kim, stop.
No, I love that. I feel like that's so good. And I think that those are some of the things that we miss because we think it's just so black and white. Like enroll customers, get volume, send a message in our group chat. That's leadership, but I love that you talk about breaking it down and just like sorry, I have to change it to gallery view. I don't know if it changed y'all's view, but it's really just honing in on like, okay, let's get specific with this. Like, let's not just, here's a post, go put that up. Yeah, like I do that too. But then I also follow up and say, hey, did you get that post up? How did that go? Like, how are your conversations? Do we need to help you with that? Do we need to get on a FaceTime to go over some of the things like, oh, you didn't get any comments on your post? Oh, you didn't get any comments on any of your posts for the last week? Okay, let's get on a FaceTime really quick and let's talk about adding to our network because maybe that's where you're missing the mark. And so like really digging deep, and Kelly kind of like, I don't know, like if she like started that mindset with me, but it's not just like do this if they like let them fly or fall. Like it's not like that. You need to really coach them and train them on what you want them to do. And if you take that extra time, I know that some of us, especially if you didn't need that whenever you joined, it's frustrating to feel like you have to do that. Because you're like, why do they need this? Because I didn't need this. And I just talked to Cami, like right whenever I got out of the gym. And I was like, I didn't need that when I joined this business. Like, I didn't need that personal connection that Kelly was talking about. I just did the stuff. I didn't need someone holding my hand and being like, Morgan, did you post today? Morgan, did you add to your network today? Morgan, don't forget to do your 6 list. We didn't even have a 6 list, but if we did, I would have been doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have anybody checking in on me. I didn't need that. So if you're one of those people that don't really need that, and I feel like a lot of you are because you're leaders and you are a high performer, that's why you're here. You don't really need somebody checking in on you. One thing that Cami said to me, she said, you know what, Morgan, but you're really rare. And just because you didn't need it doesn't mean they don't. And just because you thrived without it doesn't mean that the masses will. And she said, the difference in the people who go big in this business and the people who go huge in this business are the ones that take a step back and take the time to build those relationships and to build their leaders, to build them into leaders. You know what I mean? And so that really spoke to me because I was like, I just had this mentality of, I didn't need this. Why do they need this? Well, I'll just give it to them because they need this, but that's really annoying because I'm having to take so much time. Why don't they just get it? And that's my red personality showing, obviously. I know some of y'all are like, that's mean, but like, that's just my thought process sometimes. And I'm like, I don't know, my red do be like that though. But I'm like, I don't know why it takes that extra step, but that really helped me because she said like, that's very rare. So if you are that person, realize that most people aren't, and that they're not stupid because they need extra help, or that they're not going to not be successful because they need extra help. But if you would take the time, and I'm learning that if I would take the time to do those things with them, then it really does propel you forward. And I know Kelly said this before, so I'll quote her, and maybe I'm going to botch this, so you can re-quote me for yourself. But one thing that she said to me last year was, she was talking to different people on a different team, and she said, they were like, well, I don't have time to go help my team because I'm mass enrolling, and like I need to enroll, and I don't have time to help my team. And she said, if you don't turn around and help your team, like you're not going to keep moving forward, because like she said, you can't enroll 100,000 volume all by yourself. You have to turn around and help your team or enroll your team. And I think that that's where some of you are like, I'm just going to get the volume and I'm just going to place it in these dead boxes and fill it in and do that. So Kelly, I want you to talk about that next. But I know that some of y'all have that mentality of, oh, I need a new Ruby. Okay, I'll just sign 2,000 volume. But then it crumbles the next month and you're confused and wonder why in the world that it didn't work, like why it didn't stick, why you lost rank. But I want you to remember, it's not just Caitlin, but it is a lot of y'all. And Caitlin did say that before. So she knows what I'm talking about, but it's not just her. I've had that conversation with so many of y'all who just, and that was me though. And that's why I know it's mostly the red people. They're like, I can do it better myself. It's quicker if I just get it done myself, but it's not long-term quicker. It's not. It seems like it in the moment. Like I need 500 BV. Well, I'm just going to go enroll it myself. But what would actually benefit you more is if you go help 5 people enroll 100 BV each, because now that 100 BV they just enrolled is going to turn into 1,000 next month. That's 5,000 new volume. There's no way you could have enrolled in 30 days by yourself. You know what I mean? So it is that instant gratification, but also you have that gratification. How much better is your gratification though when you're a diamond and you're looking at your fast start qualification report or the by period or whatever, and you're looking at all your CAB reports and you see people enrolling that you don't even know who are enrolling distributors who are getting customers. That's also instant gratification, but that takes time that you're pouring into these people. And then they turn around and pour into these people. And then you start making that extra money. And I'm only talking about the money aspect because it's the reds who are like, I'll just do it myself. You're going to make more money if you teach other people how to do what you're doing. Because how nice would it be if 10 people on your team were enrolling the way you were? And they would if you would take that time to show them how. So it takes a little bit of time now on the front end, but on the back end, it pays for itself. In the time that you don't have to spend enrolling all these customers and trying to keep them and wondering why your volume's fluctuating, but also making sure that you are teaching your people how to have that long-term success for yourself, but also for their teams, and they're building their own teams. And then they start showing up to these events. And I think of Kelly and like all these people that earned Winner Circle with her. And I'm like, that's amazing. Like, I want that for y'all. Like, I want y'all to get to these events too. Like, I want to see y'all earning these events. So, but yeah, will you talk about that a little bit? Just about like, sometimes I just realized my thing wasn't pinned the whole time, so it's going to be them just staring at you. I think if they watch the recording, my voice and then just staring at you. My bad. I suck at zooming. Sorry guys. So anyways, will you talk a little bit about like that mentality that a lot of people have? And no, it's not just for Caitlin, but a lot of people have this, thought process that I used to have, and it changed everything for me and propelled me to almost an ambassador last year when I stopped and turned around and showed other people how to do what I was doing. So like, talk about maybe enrolling distributors and why it's important to bring in new people every month. We're going to talk about this in our team Zoom too, but like why it's important to continue to get new people and not just fill in those blank 400 boxes that aren't working, but also then turning around and teaching your team that you are bringing in new every month, and why it's important to teach them duplication and how maybe you do that.
So poor Caitlin. It's okay, friend. So
she's calling herself out.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was not gonna say
myself out all the time. It's fine. I've been talking to Morgan about this for like a week, so I'm like, just bring it, Kelly. I like to yell that. So
she does. She calls me all the time and she's like, "Can you yell at me, please?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
So I will say there's a time and a season for everything. There are times where you go, okay, we're doing literally whatever it takes to make this promotion happen. If that means I'm going to enroll it all myself, then I will. You know what I mean? There are times for that. But even then, what I always do is go, okay, don't forget, our job is to do our steps to success. Okay. And if you don't have this printed out, friends, I would print it out, because you're more likely to fill it out if it's printed out. Okay. And so I always go, okay, at minimum, you need 3 distributors. I try to do it, 2-3 times a month, complete my steps to success. Okay. And so then I'm taking these DTs and stacking them where I need the volume. I'm going to snag cabs, fast starts, and I'm going to teach them to get their own. And if I sign a group of people as distributors, what if all of them just get 2 LCs? Well, great. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 LCs that I didn't have to get myself. And now I have people more invested. Something they said at the Winner Circle, I want to say Kyler or somebody said this, was that people are 74% more likely to stick around after having made $1 in this business. $1. We're not talking about 150 shopping spree. We're not talking about $100 cash. We're talking about $1 bill. 1 bill. Can you teach somebody to get 1 LC, which is going to pay them that $1 bill, and they get this quick win? I think sometimes what I see people do is jump to all this list of things when people first sign up, and all I want my people to do is get 1 LC, because I know if they get 1, all of a sudden they go, oh, I can do this. And now they're willing to listen and learn. Can you teach them to get 1? Okay. And then your retention is going to go up because they're winning on their own. It doesn't feel good if my mom showed up to my house and was like, let me do all your dishes and all your laundry, and let me wipe your hiney, and let me tell your kids what to do, and let me do da-da-da-da. At first, I wouldn't be mad about the laundry and dishes, but she starts wiping my hiney. I'm going to be like, get out. Okay, y'all feel me on this? I want to do my own life. I want to do my own this. I don't want you parenting my kids. That's my job. That's my thing, right? Okay, same thing. How people feel about business is, can I just say, if you're sitting around collecting a paycheck and you're not enrolling, your money is going to get very small, very fast. I don't want somebody doing business for me. I don't make no money. Okay. And while it's not all about money, I got to have it to give it. I got to have it to live, and having somebody else do it for me, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't make me feel empowered to be able to be successful at anything in life. And then I don't make no money because they did it and I didn't do it. Does that make sense? So I want to know how to do it myself. And your people feel the same way. They're just afraid. And a lot of times they want to be told what to do, and you're not telling them what to do. You're assuming they don't want it and dismissing them when they're going, wait, I'm just lost. If you would tell me what to do, I would do it. Stop and tell them what to do so they can get a quick win, make $1 and stick around. And then see if they can go on to number 2. Does that make sense? And so, yeah, sure. There are times where you have to be on your enrolling A game, and you might need to bring in some significant volume to hit a big promotion. Yes, that does happen, but it's not sustainable long-term. You need to sign distributors, stack them in boxes, however Morgan teaches you to place, and we don't move on to the next chart until you're maintaining the previous rank. Because there is no sense in you building all the way up to double diamond and then you're maintaining ruby a couple months later. That does not feel good, and it makes people want to quit. Okay, so this quick, I'm going to go do host to post and whatever and sign all the LCs, and I'm going to be the rock star enroller, top enroller, and make all these bonuses. Yeah, and then they ain't going to pay out because you can't maintain the next month. You can't validate, right? Because you need people working. The biggest thing I want you to remember is that small people matter. The small people. Yes, diamonds and above matter. We need them, but they do not come unless you focus on teaching people to go executive. Well, we don't even talk about executive. We only talk about ruby. Very good, except for it feels real good to the new distributor when they hit their first promotion. And if they miss ruby and you're like, oh yeah, they just went executive, don't give it a shout out and don't give it no attention, but they promoted, you're missing it. You're 10 steps down the road because you've been doing this a hot minute, and they're back at square one going, so do I get any recognition for anything? Right? So I turn and find the people who can go executive. I focus on my own enrollments and what I want to see promote to get winner circle points and to get whatever things done, build new leaders in places that are weak and that kind of thing. But then I also go, hey, Jen, you're going to double promote this month. And she goes, I am? Yeah, you're going to get $400 in cash bonuses. You're going to promote to executive, and then you're going to go ruby. And she's like, I don't know. Yeah, no, you are. I'm telling you, you will. And right now she's 30 BV from going executive because I'm telling her small wins. I'm telling her $100 cash, $150 shopping spree, $100 cash. Get another fast start. Get this over here. Now get this over here. You're about to promote. I can't believe how good I am at this. That's what she says. Does that make sense? And then I'm like, I don't know. Does Jen become a diamond or above? I don't know. But can she be a ruby? You bet she can. And I'm going to make her be a ruby. It's going to happen. And we don't know. We're not in control of what people become down the road. But if you're not focused on the small wins and teaching them to do it, then you're always doing it by yourself, friend. And that's just not sustainable. And you don't make no money. Can I just tell you, in the month of, was it April, May? No, yeah, April. I mass enrolled. Okay. I went and enrolled tons of LCs, lots of DTs. And aside from, whatever got added to my 1.0 paycheck, I'm focused on my 2.0 paycheck, right? I went and enrolled all this volume. I made all these promotions happen, and my team was hardly doing their own jobs. And so I made them all happen. My paycheck went up by $3. And I worked my tail off. And man, I was like, that is it. I am so mad right now. With a little head shake and everything. But what did Kelly Brown do? She got into what made her feel good, went and signed a whole grip of LCs because that makes me feel accomplished, brought in all this volume and made $3 more. Because I didn't pay attention to what makes you the most income. Signing distributors and teaching them to build their own business, getting fast start bonuses and getting cab bonuses. Now, a little ways down the road, last month, I got a $4,500 raise on my paycheck. Why? Because of duplication and teaching people to get their cabs and fast starts. Okay, so there are times where you're going to feel frustration. Okay, and you can go, what was my focus? Solution minded. Oh, I was focused on LCs and volume because I'm trying to hit these promotions. I'm trying to get somewhere, and I did what felt good. but it didn't make me more money. And then that didn't feel good. You got to sign teammates. You cannot have a sustaining business. Okay. You cannot have a sustaining business without distributors coming in, learning to build their own business. As amazing as you are, you can't do it all by yourself. You've got to stop and teach. It's just how this works. And the beautiful thing is, then that will pay you a really long time in your life, the more people you teach.
And like what she said is, you can't do it all on your own, but even if you could, why would you want to? Like, whenever, if you are somebody who's doing it all on your own and you're like, the heck I can, watch me. And I was one of those people who was like, nobody's going to work on my team. Oh, well, I'm going to go diamond without them. I'm going to go diamond anyways. I'm going to do it myself. Guess what? I had to work so hard to maintain that rank. And it took me 13 months to go double because I had to take time to build actual leaders. And when I did that, I went from double to triple in 2 months. And the only difference was the leadership that was built on my team in between the two promotions. Oh, pin myself. Thank you. So here, I'll just add my spotlight. There we go. So anyway, that's one thing that changed for me that helped me in my business. And so if that's you right now, I want to challenge you to not do what I did whenever I started. Because let me tell you, sister, it does not work. Okay. If it did, I would be further along in my business than I am right now. But it took me a long time to get that mindset shift different. And I want you to put a 2 in the chat. If you'd be honest, and this is not manifesting anything, this is not speaking this over yourself, you're going to put a 2 and you're going to move on. If you, in moments in your business, especially in the last week or the last month, have felt frustrated with your team, put a 2 in the chat. Whether it's the lack of communication, whether it's them not being loud, them not getting on Zooms, them not promoting, them not enrolling. Okay, 2 things. And we're going to talk more about this in the next Zoom too, but 2 things. Number 1, I want you to ask yourself if you've been doing what Kelly was talking about. Are you taking the time to help them? And are you leading from the front? Are you completing your steps to success? When you're sitting there teaching your team to do that, are you? Because I know for me, if I had somebody that I did not see posting every day, tell me to post every day, that would actually frustrate me and make me not want to do it at all. Because I would be like, you're not doing it. I tell y'all all the time to post on your stories because I'm doing it and it works. But if I wasn't posting on my stories and you told me, or you saw me say, you need to get on your stories every single day, you need to be sharing your life, you need to be talking about the products, you need to post about the business, and you went to my Instagram or my Facebook and saw no stories, would you take me seriously? If I was talking about, you need to get your steps to success done, 6 customers, 3 distributors, get 1 customer, get your 5 customers for your shop for your $100 bonus, and you never saw me enroll anything, you weren't seeing me complete my steps to success, you didn't see me get loud about that, would you run for it? Would you think it was even possible? If they can't do it, then how can I do it? So you have to lead from the front. And it's not just about teaching your team what to do. Kelly has legs to stand on to teach her team these things because she's doing them herself. And like she said, it's unmotivating. They won't respect you because they're looking at that and being like, well, you're not even doing it, so how are you telling me to do it? You know what I mean? Like, it's like whenever parents say, don't do what I do what I say. Absolutely not. That's not fair. That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? And that's why the lack of respect comes in, because you need to do what they do and you need to be modeling that for your team. So first things first, you've got to do a self-evaluation. If you've been frustrated with your team, where have you missed the mark? And it's okay that you have. I've missed the mark. And there are things in the last 3 or 4 days that I've been talking with Kelly and Cami about where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I've totally missed the mark on this. And I was like, tell me all the things I need to do to fix this so that I can start being better. And so I can work on this and challenge myself. But you have to have those moments where you can honestly be humble enough to say, there's area for me to improve. And I told Kelly, because she was like, I think that there's room for growth here. And just like being very gentle with the way she's talking to me. And I was like, no, I know, but here's the thing. Like, I'm not mad that you're telling me what to do. And I am 100% all ears, because I know that in those moments of tension in my business where I'm like, this just isn't working anymore. Like, it's like the gears aren't flowing anymore. It's like they need to be oiled again and greased again. And I'm like, this just isn't working. That's when the breakthroughs come. So if you feel frustrated with your team, I want you to know that you are steps away from your breakthrough if you start by looking in the mirror at what you could do differently. Because if you think about the things that you aren't doing that Kelly's talking about, it's not a poop on yourself session. Okay. You're not going to sit here and be like, I'm the worst ever. Oh my gosh, I suck. And Morgan thinks I'm terrible. And Kelly was calling me out. No, we're not. But we're telling you what didn't work so that we can help you with what does work. And I've been very open about, like, I did all the wrong things at the beginning of my business. I still have so many areas to improve. But think about the things that you are. Craig Rochelle says it in leadership. Everything that happens on your team or in your organization, you either allow or you create. So think about the frustrations that you have with your team. Why are you frustrated with them? Is it because they're not showing up? Did you allow that? Or did you create that? Do you show up? How do you show up? With a good attitude, or just because you think that you have to be there? And then if you have just allowed it, maybe be more loud and talk about, hey guys, we have to get on these Zooms. And I know Kelly was talking about, she stopped doing a Zoom for her team because they just weren't getting on them. And her time's earned. And so those things are things we need to think about too. Like, okay, are you frustrated because they're not enrolling? Well, how have your enrollments been? Are they where you want them to be? Why not? Because there are people enrolling and people are completing their steps to success right now. So if you're not, it's not the company. So where's the disconnect for you? And figure that out so that you can turn around and tell your team, hey, complete your steps to success. Here are some things that are working for me. Let's dig deep and figure out some things that we can do and change and modify in your own life that will help you get those customers, that will help you bring in those team members so we can get you to Ruby. So I think that's where duplication starts. We know it starts with us, but really think about the things that are happening on your team or not happening on your team that are frustrating you and where that's stemming from. The other thing I was going to say too, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, one thing that she said, and I don't remember how she worded it, but she was talking about like getting frustrated. And that's kind of what I was just talking about too. But one thing that I was saying to Cami today, and I don't even remember where it came from, like she just said to me, like in our conversation, one thing that you should do, Morgan, is you should focus on getting 3 people to Ruby in the next 2 months. I was like, well, that's a good goal. She was like, you mass enroll so easily, but she was challenging me to create more personal connections in those relationships with people. Cause I know that's where I missed the mark in the past too. And I put that in the chat a second ago, but like, I am so focused on like, okay, like, I only have a little bit of time. Let me help you. Let me push you. Let me challenge you. Let me inspire you. But she said inspiration always comes from that personal relationship and you earn the right to talk into people's lives. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do better at that. But how do I start? She was like, okay, go help 3 people go Ruby. And you can mass enroll, but you need to take your time to help these people and not do it for them, but truly help them do this. And I feel like I do a good job of that, like in general, but I'm missing it where it's the personal relationship. So maybe that part's easy for you, but maybe your issue is that you're not leading from the front with your own enrollments. I don't know where it is for you, but I know that we all have some room to grow. But I wanted to challenge y'all with what Cami challenged me with. If you feel like you're tired and you just feel like you're like building all of these things and it's just like falling apart here and there, like you just don't really have any direction and you're like, where am I promoting? Where do I need to focus my energy right now? Like where do I need to rebuild? Where are some efforts that I need to like put elsewhere? I would say start building 3 rubies. That's a diamond, by the way, but like start building 3 rubies anywhere on your chart, wherever you need them, where it makes the most sense. but focus on that. And that will take your energy away from the people who may not be earning your time right now. And it's not saying that you just throw them to the wayside, but you spend most of your time with the ones who earn it. You still give them a little bit of your time. You check in with them. You have that relationship with them. You encourage them. You inspire them. But then you spend most of your time with the ones who are actually doing the things that you're teaching them to do. And that's those people that are going Ruby. And it may not be the first 3 people that you work on going Ruby. It might not be. One of them might drop off and like just go wherever, but maybe someone under them is there to stay. And I think about people like Regina. The girl who enrolled Regina quit, but she brought Regina. So she's here for a season and a reason. The girl who enrolled Carly, she quit too, but Carly's here, and so it may not even be the person you think it's going to be, but I want you to bring in those people and focus on a small goal like that. 3 rubies. That's 6,000 new volume on your team in the next 2 months. And 3 rubies when you're doing the things Kelly's teaching you is not that hard, because I think too, like whenever I said 3 rubies, some of y'all were like, I have to enroll a lot of customers. I have to enroll a lot of distributors. If you teach your team to do it, you're enrolling 3 distributors and you're enrolling your 6 customers and you're showing them how to do that too. And when you do, that's a ruby. You're not doing it all yourself. And that's the mindset I'm trying to get you out of. And that Kelly's trying to show you is that there's a better way than doing it all yourself. Because if I'm thinking about building 3 rubies and I'm enrolling all of it, that's stressful. That's overwhelming. It doesn't sound fun. It sounds like a drag. It sounds like I'm going to be sitting in my office all day, and it sounds like I'm just probably not going to do it. But when I think about helping a couple of people go Ruby and truly focus on them, focus my time, focus my energy, my efforts, my attention, I'm spending 1/3 of my time bringing in new people, 1/3 of my time developing myself, but 1/3 of my time is spent taking care of the people I already have. And I want you to ask yourself which of the 3 you haven't been doing enough of. I'll put it in the chat too. But Kelly, did you have any last things?
And I could scroll back up and find it that somebody did ask and say that they feel better, like they feel like they need to have a clear understanding of enrolling which one, DTs or LCs, like a clear direction. And I have felt that way before too. And I think there's times where you're like, okay, no, I need LCs right now because I have these fast starts that are gonna, expire, or I have this certain situation, whatever. But if you have coupon codes, then your goal this month is at least those 5 coupon codes to be used up for $49. So at some point in the month, you've just got to collect the 5. And then you can keep doing, the LCs. So I'm doing host to post every day. And then if I've got time, I'm going to jump in and do TikTok. If I've got time, I'm going to jump in and add this or add that, whatever. But I know that I'm generating a ton of leads. And anytime I post about the business, I can try and snag those 5 along the way, or however many codes you have for. But what Morgan is saying is right. And so I have my list from last month and my 3 rubies promoted, and then a diamond promoted. And then I have my 3 rubies this month. And I guess as you're saying it, I'm like, wait, that is exactly what I do. And I guess I just probably don't. I do it and then don't recognize it's what I'm doing. But like with strategy for Winner Circle, or for fast starts and cabs, or for increasing your paycheck. If you're like, no, I'm like, my paycheck is whatever, and I need it to be something significantly different, whatever. Okay, then your job is to build 3 rubies this month. And you absolutely can do that. And so I'm connecting with each person in the ruby spots. It's going to make this emerald promote. And then the 3rd ruby is actually down underneath one of the other rubies. So 1, 2, 3 is going to be more than enough for her to go emerald. And is this going to make me presidential 2.0? No, it's not. I still have a ways to go. I'm only at like 50,000 volume. Okay. But I'm teaching this girl to be a leader, and hopefully some of these guys will stick around. If they don't, they don't. But if you don't have a goal, if you don't have clear written down charts, goals, steps to success, you're like, yeah, I just need a whole bunch of DTs and LCs, and you're not going to get anything accomplished. Does that make sense? And so if I'm signing DTs right now, they're still going on this chart. If there's somebody not working, I'm going to stack one, because I'm going to keep placing everything I enroll until these 3 promotions happen. And then I'm working with each distributor individually to try and get them to do their own businesses too. If they don't, they don't. We're not in control of everything, right? We're not in control of this lady who never responded to me, but I sure did collect my fast start and cab on her. Next time I get a DT, I'm going to stick it under there because I need her to be at 400 and she's only at 214. You guys know how that goes, right? But it's just that I'm deciding I will place everything here, all my attention, all of my energy. These are the first people I'm connecting to. Now, I can't forget about these other guys I promoted with last month on these other places. And I've still got my lists out. So it reminds me to kind of, hey, how's it going? You doing okay? Hey, do you need my help? Are you doing whatever? Hey, I saw your post about your daughter is sick. Is she okay? Hey, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Making sure they have goals and they know where they're going. But the people that are number one on my list this month are the 3 rubies I'm focused on promoting with. And then I'm going to build relationship with these guys. I already built a relationship with these guys last month. So if they don't feel loved by me, that's their fault. Okay, because we're officially friends. They're going to come see me in Florida. I'm just met one of them in person when I was in Florida recently. Like, we are on the friend train. Now I got to make these guys be my friends. And now if you don't want to do the job and stick around and reciprocate the relationship, that's not my fault, but it is my job to initiate the relationship, to initiate the teaching. And then the rest is, I can't make somebody hustle, right? But I can teach them what to do with the hustle, and that you can do as well.
That is so good. This has been amazing. I don't know if you're seeing the chat, but it's blowing up. Thank you so much. I have follow-up questions for you, just one. So I'll text you that later. But thank you for hopping on here. I'm so excited. Guys, we're going to get on